Long ago, in the grand city of New York, during the 1870s, society lived by strict rules. Families cared about appearances, honor, and traditions more than true emotions. People were expected to live properly, marry within their circle, and never step outside the line of what was considered respectable. In such a world, passion and honesty often had no place. This is the story of Newland Archer, a man who had to choose between the safety of duty and the fire of love. It is a tale of glittering parties, whispered scandals, and silent sacrifices. Above all, it is a story about how society can shape lives, forcing people to give up their deepest desires for the sake of appearances. The great opera house sparkled with lights and music. Chandeliers glowed, ladies wore shimmering gowns, and men in black coats whispered politely. In one of the boxes sat Newland Archer, a young lawyer with fine manners and a respected name. At his side was his fiancée, May Welland, a beautiful girl with bright eyes and a pure smile. Their engagement had been announced, and the families of New York were pleased. Archer believed that marrying May would give him a safe, honorable life. But that evening, his attention shifted when a new figure entered the opera house. A woman dressed in European fashion, with a strong yet sad face, caused the audience to turn and whisper. She was Countess Ellen Olenska, May's cousin, recently returned from Europe. Ellen had left her wealthy but cruel husband, and her return alone had already created scandal. From the moment Archer's eyes fell upon Ellen, something stirred inside him. She was unlike anyone else. While May was gentle, proper, and innocent, Ellen seemed alive, bold, and unafraid of judgment. Society might look down on her, but Archer felt she carried a kind of truth that no one else dared to show. As weeks passed, Archer and Ellen met more often. Their conversations were different from the polite talk he shared with May. With Ellen, words carried weight. She questioned society, laughed at its shallow rules, and looked straight into Archer's soul. Slowly, Archer realized that his heart was waking up in Ellen's presence. With May, he felt duty. With Ellen, he felt life. But in New York society, love was never simple. Families whispered against Ellen. They told her not to seek divorce because it would shame them all. They warned her that freedom came at too high a price. Archer, though he wished to defend her, felt himself chained by these expectations. Honor, his reputation, his family all pulled him back from breaking free. Despite his secret longing, Archer went ahead with his marriage to May. The wedding was grand. The guests smiled, and society applauded the perfect union. On the surface, Archer had everything: wealth, respect, and a lovely wife. But in the shadows of his heart, Ellen's face remained. Ellen, too, loved Archer. She saw in him the possibility of true happiness, but she also saw May's innocence and loyalty. Ellen was too noble to destroy her cousin's life, so she made the hardest choice. She stepped away, leaving New York quietly, returning to Europe with her loneliness. Her departure was her gift of sacrifice, a gift that Archer never forgot. Years passed. Archer lived a life admired by others, but inside, he carried silence. He and May raised children, attended dinners, and appeared as the perfect couple. Yet Archer often sat alone at night, haunted by the thought of what might have been. Then time moved on. May died young, leaving Archer an old man with grown children. His son Dallas took him to Paris and told him something that made his heart tremble. Ellen was still there. After all these years, the chance to meet her again had come. Archer went to her home, climbed the steps, and stood before her door. He could have knocked. He could have seen her face once more, but he did not. Instead, he sat quietly on a bench outside, letting the memories flood back. He remembered her smile, her courage, her sacrifice, and then, without entering, he walked away. For Archer, the memory was enough. It was pure, untouched, eternal. The story shows the painful conflict between love and duty. Archer's true love was Ellen, but he married May because society demanded it. Ellen, though deeply in love with Archer, sacrificed her happiness to protect May's innocence. Both Archer and Ellen lived lives of quiet sadness, chained by society's rules. The title, The Age of Innocence, is ironic. On the outside, people looked proper and pure. But inside, there were hidden passions, sacrifices, and unspoken pain. The Age of Innocence is not only about love, it is about how society can control lives, forcing people to choose respectability over truth. Archer gained admiration, but lost happiness. Ellen gained dignity, but lost love. Together, their story reminds us that the greatest tragedies are often not wars or disasters, but the silent choices of the heart. It teaches us that real freedom comes from following the heart, even when society disapproves. But in Archer's world, such freedom was impossible. And so, he lived respected by all, but forever shadowed by what might have been. Asterisk, thanks for watching. If you really like the story, please do like, share, subscribe, comment on my channel World Stories. See you on the next video.